Hello, this is Dave Ross with PayJunction, and I'm going to be today's moderator. Thank you for taking the time to see exactly how PayJunction benefits today's car dealerships. We're going to get started in just a minute. It looks like we have several people on the call already. I am expecting just a few more, so let's give everybody just 1 minute before we get rolling here. I will let you know that today's webinar is going to be conducted by Tom Harnito, National Director with PayJunction. Tom and I, we've worked together now since mid-2007, and he does a great job on these calls. We're really lucky to have him today. Just before I bring him on, I will ask I've got one quick question here. I noticed some of the names of today's attendees, some of the dealerships there look a little bit familiar to me, so I just wanted to ask, if you are any of you on the call already using PayJunction? If your dealership is already a PayJunction client, just go ahead and let me know. Either you should have a chat feature or an email feature there, but you can go ahead and raise your hand there, so to speak. Just so everybody knows, sometimes we'll have existing offices, dealerships jump on these calls, whether it's new hire staff or just somebody wants to jump on and see what the latest and greatest with PayJunction is. And yeah, okay, I see that. I definitely see a couple of you chatting, so I thought so. Everybody, you're welcome to these calls at any time. Okay, I see a few more people have joined us, so if you're just coming on and joining the demonstration, if you've got any questions today, I want you all to feel free to utilize the chat or email option. Keep your eyes on your screen just underneath where you see my image right now. You just may see from time to time a little sneak peek offer, or maybe some promotional information jump up there from time to time. You can also feel free to email me, and I'll get to those questions for you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Tom. During the next 15 to 20 minutes, Tom Harnito will be showcasing PayJunction's virtual terminal with digital signature capture. Today we're going to learn exactly how to utilize PayJunction's paperless virtual terminal to not just process but also manage all of your processing needs, credit, debit, check, everything there. We're also going to open up your payment gateway to your website if you'd like to utilize that feature. It's free to you, where you can open up your accounts receivable 24/7, have people paying you online. And also a great feature that he'll hit on is the recurring payments. In case you have any in-house financing or a buy here, pay here option, it's a great feature there. So I don't want to let everything out of the bag right now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Tom. He's got a few topics and tricks he wants to show you about, so go ahead, Tom, take it away.
Thanks, David. Once again, my name is Tom Harnito. I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for taking the time out of their day to jump on this call. I think you'll be very impressed with the solution that we have to offer your dealership. As David mentioned, during the call, make sure to write down any questions you have, email those to him, or even type them into the chat box there. I'll try to address them during the call, or if not, Dave will get back to you with those answers following the call. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into the demonstration and talk a little bit about what PayJunction is doing for dealerships across the U.S. I think it's best to start off by talking about what we're replacing and showing you guys what the problems with standard credit card machines are. Credit card machines that are the regular old terminals are a mess because they produce paper receipts that you've got to manage as a business. And you're supposed to keep these paper receipts for up to 6 months at your dealership. So you probably have a drawer or a cabinet full of these paper receipts somewhere at your dealership. And there's some hard facts about these paper receipts. One, they're not recyclable. Because they're impregnated with certain chemicals, they can't be recycled. Two, they contain a dangerous chemical called BPA, which is known to seep in through the skin. So if you're handling a lot of paper receipts, it's not healthy. And even the New York Times has some articles stating that credit card receipts that come off those standard credit card terminals can be hazardous to your health. So the idea behind what PayJunction is doing is taking dealerships and all sorts of businesses completely paperless with their payment processing. And the way that we're able to accomplish this is through what we call a virtual terminal. Now I'm going to start sticking little red arrows next to these products here so you know what I'm talking about. So the virtual terminal is essentially the system. It's what you use to log into your account and process all of your credit cards and all of your checks through us. And the virtual terminal can be accessed from any computer with internet. So what's great about this solution is there's no software that needs to be downloaded or installed. You don't have to buy any software. All you need is just an active internet connection and a computer. And you can log into your account and access it and start processing credit cards and checks. Now, what makes our paperless solution feasible is this signature capture pad. This signature capture pad is what plugs into the USB port on your computer, and it sits out in front facing your customers. This is what the customer signs so that they can upload an electronic signature. It's the same technology that you see when you go shopping at Walmart or Best Buy or any of those other big box stores these days. Why do they do electronic signature capture? Well, it's safer, it's faster, it's cheaper, it's a heck of a lot more organized, and it's better for the environment. So we provide that same technology just at a much, much lower cost. Now, the way that you swipe credit cards on our system is through a USB card reader. Okay, this card swiper will Velcro or stick to the side of your monitor. It also has a cord that plugs into the USB port on your computer, and that will allow you to swipe the customer's credit card. But one thing that I want to point out here about our solution before I dive into the live demo is a lot of times people hear the term credit card processing and they get a really bad taste in their mouth. And it's important to understand that we're not just a credit card processing company. We do process credit cards, but we're much, much more than that. With our solution, you're going to be provided a complete financial management software for all of your cashless payments. So we're not just a credit card processing company. We're also going to process, deposit, and manage all of the checks that you accept from your customers as well. So it's very important to understand that we are a full financial management software for all of your dealership's cashless payments. So let's go ahead and let's dive right into it and talk about what PayJunction can do for your dealership and how our system works. So the first thing I want to point out is, again, there's no software that needs to be installed. Simple computer with internet is all you need, and you can log in from as many computers simultaneously at your dealership with one single account. So the way that we log in is we visit our website, we click the merchant login button, and we enter in our secure login and password. Now, once you obtain a login and password with us to your account, you're able to log in and process all your checks and all your credit cards with a couple clicks of a mouse. So to process a credit card, you click the big Process a Credit Card button here on the left-hand side. To process a check, you click the Process a Check button. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in here so we can get a little bit bigger screen. There we go. So let's start off by processing a credit card, and let's just talk about how easily you can accomplish that on this system. To process a credit card, click the Process a Credit Card button, and you're able to either manually enter in the card information, or you can swipe the card if you have that swiper hooked up to the computer. So to swipe the card, simply enter in the invoice number and amount. Swipe the card, it'll automatically upload the card number, expiration date, and name. Now, since we don't have a swiper hooked up for the purposes of this demonstration, let's just go ahead and manually enter in a credit card number, an expiration date, make up an invoice number, go ahead and make up an amount, and then we'll go ahead and enter in the name of the client. Now, again, if we have the credit card present, we would just swipe the card, it would automatically upload everything. We just simply enter in an invoice number, if applicable, and an amount that we want to charge. Once we click the Process button, within a half a second, that transaction will come back approved. Now, this is what really makes us different than any other processor in the industry. With any other processing provider, at this moment, you would need to print a paper receipt that you would have the customer sign. Instead, with PayJunction, at this moment, you just simply instruct the customer to sign that signature pad that sits out in front facing the customer. They sign the pad, click Agree, and within 1 second, their signature is uploaded into the system. All you have to do is simply click the Save Signature button, and just like that, you've stored an electronic signature with this receipt forever. So at this moment, if the customer wants a receipt, you have the ability to print or email a receipt out of the system. If I were to print or email the receipt will look just like this. Has the pretty little signature image in the signature box. You can even customize these receipts with your dealership's logo up in the top left corner of the receipt. So here's the concept behind this, just to recap. You run the transaction, and then you have the customer sign the electronic signature pad. That will upload the signature to the receipt and store it electronically. You can print or email your customer a receipt if they want one, but as a dealership, you no longer have to worry about ever storing physical paper receipts from transactions ever again. You've processed this sale. At this moment, you would go and post this payment into your dealer management software the same way you do now, and then click Process a Credit Card to run the next transaction. What's unique about this system is that we store a record of every transaction forever. So if you need to find that sale, whether it's 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago, you can simply type in the name of the customer, hit the search button, and the system will pull you back the transaction that you're looking for, detailing you the last name of the customer and the invoice number. So you can search transactions by name of customer, invoice number, or even amount. Once you pull up the transaction that you'd like, you can simply click the Details button to the left of the sale to access that original receipt page where you could recall the copy of that signed receipt if needed. Now, just as easily as you can process credit cards and search for your past credit card transactions, you can do the same thing with checks. If a customer hands you a paper check, instead of putting it into a pile and having to take it to the bank and deposit it, you can simply click the Process a Check button and turn that paper check into an electronic transaction. By entering in the account number and routing number, you can immediately debit that checking account. Now, this eliminates you having to take the checks to the bank and eliminates you having to deal with bounced checks from your customers. Processing checks through our system is as easy as simply entering in the account number, routing number, the amount you want to charge, an invoice number if applicable, and clicking the blue Process button. The approval page for a check looks identical to the approval page for a credit card. You can also search for any previous checks that you've accepted in the Search Transactions box, same way you can search for credit card transactions. So let's go ahead and let's move on now to batching, because batching is obviously very important for your dealership. It's what you use to track your end-of-the-day sales and your daily deposits coming into your checking account. With PayJunction, you're going to have two batches. One batch is going to be your dealership's ACH or check transactions. The other batch is going to be your dealership's credit card and debit card transactions. So you're going to be able to see in real time the batch report for your dealership for both checks that you've accepted and credit cards. Your current unsettled batch would be today's activity. These are transactions that we've accepted today. Your previous settled batches, as indicated by the date to the right of each green check mark, would be yesterday's sales and every day before that. Now, what's beautiful about this system is the reporting that it provides your dealership so that you can easily reconcile your payments to your dealer management software. Instead of working from individual credit card receipts and a batch receipt off an old terminal or a stack of physical paper checks, with this program you have the ability to work from this batches screen and get a detailed report of all the sales you took for the day. So for instance, if I wanted to see the check transactions that I've accepted for today, all I have to do is click the View Batch button to the left of that day, and I can view the check transactions that I've accepted on this given day. The report will give you not only the last name of your customer, but also an invoice number if you enter that in when you took the transaction. This will make reconciling to your dealer management software that much easier. Not only can I view the reports for the current day, but let's say that, for instance, that I wanted to view the reports for a previous day. As you can see here, we have the 16th, we have the 15th, we have the 14th. These are yesterday and every previous day's sales reports. Let's say that I wanted to see the 3 credit card transactions that I ran on January 14th. Well, all I would need to do is click the View Batch button, and I have the ability to instantly recall those transactions and those invoice numbers so that I can make sure that I've properly reconciled these payments to my dealer management software. So once again, the Batches and History section is a very important piece to the system as it gives you your daily reports of all of your cashless payments. This is really where we're going to make reconciling your payments and keeping your books just that much easier for you. Again, you can process simultaneously from as many computers as you'd like in your dealership. So if you have a service department, a parts department, a finance department, they can all be processing simultaneously on their own computers, and these transactions are all going to be reporting into one easy-to-manage batch for you. All your credit card sales, all your check transactions in one easy-to-manage system. So that's how the Batches section works. Now, a couple things I want to point out here. We can set the system to auto-batch at whatever time you'd like for your dealership. You can batch out automatically in the system by setting that auto-batch time. Also, I want to talk about the funding time that PayJunction provides. On both your ACH or check processing and your credit card and debit card processing, we will fund the very next morning. So whatever you process today is in your account tomorrow morning for both credit cards and checks. Now, while some businesses might have next-day funding on their credit cards, I highly doubt you have next-day funding on checks. If you're taking checks down to the bank and you're depositing them, you might wait 2 or 3 days for those checks to clear and then get the money deposited into your account. With PayJunction, you're processing those checks on the spot, getting that approval, and the funds are deposited into your account the very next morning. So we're going to fund you faster and give you better organization on all of those cashless payments. Now, the next thing that I want to briefly touch on is recurring transactions. Within this system, you not only have the ability to run one-time credit card or check transactions, but you also have the ability to even set up a recurring card. So let's say that you do any kind of in-house financing, if you do any buy here, pay here type programs. With this system, you can enter in either a credit card or a checking account and set that credit card or checking account on a recurring billing cycle. So you can set it to bill on the 1st of every month, or maybe the 15th of every month, and the system will automatically bill that card or checking account on the schedule that you set. So you can set it to bill for a certain number of times, maybe 12 straight months. You enter in the invoice number or VIN number on that vehicle. You go ahead and put in the recurring amount that you want to charge, and you set it up. The system will automatically charge that credit card or checking account that you enter into the system on that automatic recurring cycle. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the recurring transactions, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You set it up, and the system will auto-bill those cards. If you have any questions on this, please make sure that you write those down and get with Dave, and he'll answer the questions on the recurring billing. Now, last but certainly not least, we can also process transactions directly through your website. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our website again here and show you a couple of things. Within the tour section of our website, you'll notice that it really lists out all the great things that our product can do, from processing checks to managing transactions to customizing receipts, etc. But down at the very bottom of this tour page, you'll notice that we have the ability to provide a simple hosted shopping cart. So what this does is it takes just a few minutes to set up on your website, and you can take payments online. So for dealerships, you're probably not selling products, but what you might be doing is taking payments on invoices. So if you have any customers that owe you money, you have the ability to put a pay your bill button on your website, which will allow your customers to go online and make payment to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Several dealerships that we work with will use this to allow their customers to make payments on the vehicles that are in their service department. So instead of coming in and having to check out, they can actually just instruct their client that, hey, your car is ready. If you want to go ahead and make a payment now, go to our website. Here's what you owe. They email them an invoice, and then they're able to actually pay the bill before they even come and pick up their car, so that when they come and pick up their car, they can grab the keys, get in it, and go. So you have the ability, if you would like, to put this pay your bill or make a payment button on your website, and it's a hosted checkout that we provide. It takes no more than about 10 minutes to put on your website and get going. Now, all transactions that you process through the website will be reported into the batches section. So whether your customer pays by credit card or pays by check, that transaction will show up with the rest of your sales, just as if you took that sale in-house. So you can make sure that you've accounted for that sale and properly posted that to your dealer management software. Now, I got a question coming in here on the chat board that I just want to address real quick because it is important. Notification of these transactions. We will not only notify you by posting the payment into the virtual terminal, but you'll get an email. So your service department could have an email address set up where any payments that come through the website are immediately sent to that email address. So it will be a notification that says, you know, client Joe Smith just made payment on invoice 784 for the amount of $400 through the website. Okay, so we'll send a notification to you via email. We'll also send a receipt to the customer as soon as that transaction is processed via the website. Now, once again, just to recap, within this program, you're going to be able to process all of your cashless payments, credit cards, and checks, capture electronic signatures, do recurring billing, have a history of all transactions, have a beautiful report of your cashless payments day by day, not only outlining the names of the customers, but even invoice numbers associated with those sales, put payment button on your website, and much, much more. So hopefully this has been informative for you. Dave, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you so that you can go ahead and finish up here. And I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to review PayJunction's paperless processing, our virtual terminal with electronic signature capture. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. So there you have it, everybody. A peek behind the curtain, if you will, at the best paperless processing system available. I'm sure you can see why so many car dealerships are converting over to our virtual terminal. To get pricing, to get set up at your dealership, we make it real simple. All you need to do is scan an email two of your most current merchant statements to me. That's dross@PayJunctionDemo. If it's easier for you to fax, you can fax to 800-771-3821. Now, what we're going to have you do is, the reason we collect those two merchant statements from you the last 2 months is it tells us exactly how cards are processed, what type of cards are being used at your place, and we can plug that into our system. And what that'll do is that'll allow us to send you a customized analysis showing you exactly what you'll be paying with PayJunction. And you'll be happy to know that you'll get our system and we will match or beat your existing rates and fees. So it's not going to cost you any more to use our virtual terminal and go completely paperless and have a much better system. All right. So once we send you the analysis, you look it over. If it looks good to you, you say okay, and then you fill out the online application. And again, real simple. Takes about 10 minutes to complete it. Once you get it done and send in everything to us, once we receive that, it takes us 2 to 3 business days to get your application approved, build the virtual terminal to the specifications for your dealership, and then we'll also send you out the free equipment. Now, if you saw the little pop-ups during the webinar, we are going to get you 1 free card reader and 1 free signature pad. So we'll get that sent out to you. Now, if you really saw one of the pop-ups there, is we do have a promotion in 2013. Quarterly, we are giving away a 5-day cruise to somebody that uses our system. So the way that you gain access or entry into that drawing is for every signature pad that your dealership uses, you'll get an entry. So I'm going to start you out. You're going to get 1 for free. If your place needs a couple more, just let me know and we'll get those out to you. And like I say, you'll get those entries into the cruise. And then within a couple of days, you get the equipment and you're up and running. It's a completely paperless piece of cake, and you'll be enjoying your brand new virtual terminal. So if you got any questions on anything that you saw or heard today, feel free to give me a call at 317-439-6926. Again, you can email me, whatever's easiest for you. Thanks for all your time on the call today. We really do appreciate you and look forward to you coming on board.